in order, and this is what he told me. He said first is from agriculture, burning of sugarcane, burning of rice fields. Second is manufacturing, which belongs to Ministry of Industry, right? The first one was Ministry of Agriculture. The third one is transportation, which belongs to Ministry of Transportation. The fourth one is about electricity, which is coal. 11% of Thai electricity is done by coal. There's still about 11%. And that's Ministry of Energy. So the poor guy who comes in, he's a director general level, almost retiring. The poor guy cannot answer the question because all the causes of air pollution in Thailand belongs to some other ministers who are higher than him. It's a kind of Clean Air Act in Denmark, in Sweden, Swedish Protection Agency, where I'm looking at Sweden as a model. Singapore, if something like that happens, it's this environmental protection agency that Thailand doesn't have. You have to have the act first. That can segment the problem and say, okay, no more agricultural burning for the next 1 week, or the construction side, which belongs to the Ministry of Interior, has to stop. No one has that power in Thailand. So that's the upper bread of the ham. The guy has a master plan to do this and that, but he doesn't have the power that gives him to do it, right? And the lower bread is the action plan. Like I said, the causes, when I kept asking for the sources, so then we attacked at the sources of air pollution. Of course, he would say something like stop burning and no more cars, no private cars, stop schools, work from home and this and that. But if there's no action plan, then the civil servants at the very bottom, they don't know what to do. So that's why the problems recycles itself throughout. And that's all the environmental problems in Thailand. The last act that we had when it comes to environmental protection, I was 12 at the time. So it's been a long time that it was revised. So that's why when I went down to Chiang Mai, Chiang Rai, Skon and see all the mining practices and this and that, and I say, okay, this is what we lack. We lack the action plan, the lower bread. Clean Air Act, like many other countries, which is the upper bread. So that if that's the case, we have a coordinated effort. I mean, that kind of power structure that it will allow the problem to fade away. Otherwise, it will just be like this every year.
Yeah. Thanks very much.
As for Chiang Mai, hello. As for Chiang Mai, my apologies. We are not sending our candidates to compete in the Chiang Mai administration, local administration election. So we don't have city policy specifically for Chiang Mai at the moment. Apologies.
Thanks very much. I've never heard pollution described as a sandwich before. But
it's not just air pollution,
no.
Jonathan. It's a lot of problems here. It's a power structure. Yeah. Sorry, I confused power structure with sandwiches, but yeah.
I guess it was a smoked ham
sandwich. You see the picture.
Yeah. Next question, please.
Hi, my name is Ken Korana, and I have a question for Kun Thanathorn. You spoke about Rohingyas and human trafficking. As to what I feel, our security forces have kept our borders secure from illegal immigrants. I don't know what tactics they use, but whatever. Our borders are safe. There are Rohingyas in India, Bangladesh, Myanmar, Malaysia, all over the place. How would you keep safe? How would you handle if you are in the government? How would you handle that?
What specifically are you addressing? And I realize it's Rohingyas. You mean human trafficking, or are you talking about Rohingyas specifically?
Actually, Rohingyas, more to Rohingyas. Yeah. How would you?
Are you referring to how Thailand should handle it regionally, or Rohingyas in Thailand?
Yeah, Rohingyas in Thailand, those who come here and been sent out in the past.
Well, okay, I guess that's a broader question, I suppose, about the very large undocumented population in Thailand. I mean, Rohingyas are obviously particularly vulnerable, but there are many, of course, from Myanmar, Cambodia, and others.
Well, for me, a democratic Thailand would be in the best position to help assist the issue of Rohingyas. I mean, look at the trade, look at the relationship we have with our neighbor. A democratic Thailand would have enormous power to leverage against this issue with our neighbor government. I mean, we are talking about, I don't know what, 1 million people being displaced at the moment, if not more, right? This is a huge issue, and it's just, we are turning blind eyes on them. We have all the resources in the world to help. The world want to help this, and we, Thailand, the neighbor, doing nothing, and actually making things worse by seizing this opportunity to do human trafficking activities. I mean, I am totally convinced that if we are in power, I mean, if he is in power, we can do better on this. We can do better on this front. We can use our trade with our neighbor to leverage on this. We can pull ASEAN behind us, the Malaysian already doing their part, the Indonesian government also doing their part. So we could, be a force for the better to talk to the Burmese government, in my eyes. And more importantly, I think it's not about the Rohingya alone. I mean, we could contribute more. Look at what happened in the Mekong River. Mekong River is dying. Mekong River is one of the most important river in Asia, and it's feeding 100 million people, more than 100 million people, depending on Mekong River, and now it is dying. And why is it dying? Because there's no international cooperation between the upstream, right from China, right, to the downstream in Cambodia and Vietnam. There's no international cooperation, and who want to talk to China? Who's in the upstream? Can any single country have enough power to negotiate with China that the dozen of mega dams you are building upstream is killing the river? No, you have to work. At least the inland Southeast Asian nations have to work together on this and to talk to China as one. And who is in the best position to do that? It's us, it's Thailand. And why we are not doing this is very simple. The answer is very simple, because Prayut Chan-o-cha needs international recognition. He needs China. So there's no way he's going to compromise his relationship with China for Mekong River, I believe. So that's why I'm saying we are losing opportunities. A democratic Thailand could contribute more to help solve the world's problems, be it the Rohingya, be it the Mekong River, or be it the environmental issues. We have the potential, we have smart people all over the place, all over Thailand, but we are not maximizing our potential. We are not maximizing the abilities of these people. So it's a lost decade, a total lost decade for Thailand.
As for myself, I have some experiences in the fishing industry where there's a lot of migrant workers, a lot of them undocumented. And the key problem to that is the undocumented, or the lack of transparency. And all I can say in a very quick summary is that I feel like there are some local or some established, some people in the industry who benefit from the lack of transparency for the migrant workers to keep being undocumented. And I feel that has to stop, and that has to stop with decentralization, by having a decentralized cities who understand the demand and the supply and how to treat them like a normal human being. Yeah.
Thanks very much. Can we get the next question, please?
Hi, my name is Jiraporn Chayasan. I'm an FCCT member and also a concerned citizen. So Kun Thanathorn, here we are again after your last talk. it seemed like your party is dissolved. I understand that Chris Baker mentioned that you don't want to go, you mentioned that you don't want to go to jail. This is two questions about, are you declaring war on the rich? And what are your message to the Thai tycoons that are supporting the pro-junta government? And also, Khun Pitha, if you actually have been invited to the coalition without General Prayut's, sitting with as the Prime Minister, would you join them? And what would be your top three policies?
War on the rich. You're not entirely unwealthy yourselves, you two.
Let me put it this way. In this stage, as developing nation, we cannot reject the role of big corporations. We need big corporations. We need big companies. But the way they accumulate capital should not be regressive. They should be the one who go out and compete with the world, with technology, with innovation, in products and or services, and bring that value back and distribute it to the supply chain. So that should be the role of big business in developing nations, right? Capture the value from the outside, using the innovation, the power of the people in the country. That's how the Japanese build their big businesses, through the supply chain, having, for example, Toyota as the national champion, go out and capture value added in the world and bring back to Japan. That's how Korea built their nation. But us, big corporations in Thailand, they are not going out, but they instead lobbying for a regulation, lobbying for a law that could give them the power to monopolize the market. And that's the difference between the function of big corporations in developing nations. So, no, we are not declaring the war on the rich, but we want to change the relationship between the rich corporations and medium and small enterprises. Big corporations should not come down and compete with medium and small enterprises using the law that favors them, favor big corporations. But big corporations should be our flagships to compete with the world. So that is something I believe Pitha understands very well, and he will change it when he's our next Prime Minister.
To answer your question, I think we mentioned a couple of times with or without General Prayut is not really the issue. I think we all entered politics because we think that the system is rigged. How can 1% hold 67% of the wealth, according to Oxfam? How can there be 80,000 cases against our own citizens who just want the right to live, just because there are legal and inhumane evictions of land cases? So if we were to design our party policies or strategies, I can confirm with a strong voice that it will still be a strong, shared, solidified policies that we have talked about in the past 1 year. It's already ingrained in our DNA. We don't need any other influence from other people who are dissolved with the party. It's the meaningful democracy. That means demilitarization, take military out to where they belong, not governing our country. It's about economic equality, ending monopoly, increasing transparency. It's about better environment, better sustainability. It's not about privatization of profit and nationalization of loss. And this is what I mean by how the system is rigged in this country. So if it's just a political party that says, okay, let's give subsidies to the farmers and not tackle the structural issues of Thai agriculture, that's something that we don't want to get into. So it's really not about an individual, but it's really about the system. Without General Prayut, but this system of elites, of conservatives, of other people, establishment continues, that's something that we'll still continue to fight for, against, not for.
Thank you. Next question, please.
Hi. Hi. My name is Nirowit. I am not a journalist, if that's okay. My question is about Cobra MPs. It was a really big deal when the Future Forward Party started a year ago, because you guys were a group of normal people who never wanted to do politics, but got together because you were tired of the status quo. But now a year later, we see that quite a few of your MPs have been bought and have become
14.
Cobra MPs, including Monton Pokai, who's your district MP. My question is, what lessons have you learned, and what are some specific things you'll do to make sure this doesn't happen again in the future? Thank you.
Well, 14 to be precise. To be precise, it's 14. What's the lesson I learned? Betrayal is common in politics. I learned it's hard. I learned it's very expensive way, very painful way. So, betrayals. Let me clarify one thing. We got recognized by the Election Commission to be a political party, official political party, to be a legal entity on the 3rd of October. Just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months before the election. And we have to select, we have to choose our MP candidates before the new year. So we thought, because we thought the election might be, you know, in the first quarter of 2019. So we have basically 3 months to choose 350 constituencies MP candidates. We got 3 months to choose some 350 people. So it was a big mistake. We didn't have enough time, you know, to truly understand the motive behind their applications to be our MP candidate. So, but this is the lesson I have to tell him, because I wouldn't have an opportunity to do that again, you know. So as for how do I feel about this? These 14 people, 10 of them are constituencies MPs, and 10 of them altogether collected 450,000 votes. 450,000 votes. And when we campaigned before the election, our campaign was very clear. We do not support military junta. So people who voted for us, these 450,000 votes, clearly they voted against the junta. And now the system, our system just allowed them to move camp. 450,000 people voted against the junta rule for these 10 MPs, constituency MPs. And when they move camp to support, to cushion the coalition, the governing coalition parties, you know, they betray these 450,000 voters. They betray their promises to the people, and that's painful, you know. So that's how I feel. And ขอโทษครับคุณพิธา apologies, but you have to learn this next time when you choose your MP candidates.
I mean, the MPs have the legal, the right to move to the party that they want to be associated with, but I don't think they have the legitimacy to do it. And I'm sure they have the price to pay. They already paid a lot. So it's really, it's for us, we decided to remain positive and stay united with the remaining 55 to move forward. For those who move because of ideology, that's a different thing. But if some of them move because of monetary terms, I think they owe a big explanation for their unconstructive and purely transactional politics to the people who voted for them.
Do you think they did go for the money?
I have no comment.
Sorry, do you want to follow up? Just quick, briefly, yeah.
Sorry, the second part of the question was also, what are some specific things you'll do to prevent this from happening in the future? Thank you.
Well, we'll have the remaining 55 have pledged their vows to stay with us. On March the 8th, we'll have a meeting and we'll announce the new name of our party, and hopefully that will send a message to our society that the remaining 55 will continue. It's a lot of work to do within a year, past 1 year and a half. Obviously, we made some mistakes. We definitely will learn from them, and now we have more time. We have learned how to manage the party as an institution better. Hopefully, we'll have a stronger committees when it comes to selecting people who join the party without a rush.
Next question, please.
Duong Ramon, I have no affiliation at the moment. So when speaking about betrayal, Kun Thanathorn, I think our Thai people here, I'm here as a Thai citizen, we know very well what's the point of the last election anyway. So that's a real betrayal, we feel. My question, just to give a bit of background, 2 years ago I was standing here asking you 2 questions when you make a first appearance at this panel. As a new young blood, young Thai politicians, together with the Thai Raksa Chat party, it was already been dissolved before. I think we might be in the same event.
Yeah,
Kun
I was
Pita.
right there.
Yes. So I was standing over there. My 2 questions back then was about the amendment of the constitutions, of how could ever political parties survive under this undemocratic, unfair, I would say we know by now, constitution to weakening the political party. That's one question. Another question was about the 20-year national plans. Anyway, so forget about 20-year national plan, back to the amendment constitution, because tonight, I think neither one of you have mentioned that before. So tonight, actually. So my question is, where you stand on the amendment of the constitution, or there is another separate movement who are actually bringing that into the agenda. Is that still your main agenda, apart from demilitarizations and democratization? Where are you now on the constitution amendment to put the structural, sustainable change into this country? I think we cannot undermine that. Thank you.
Well, definitely, we stand firm on this. I mean, without the total amendment of the 2017 Constitution, there's no democracy here. So when I talk about democratization, the very first step is to amend the 2017 Constitution. So you will see me going forward, campaigning for this. I will be talking about this. My colleague, Pia But, will also be talking about this. This issue is too important to let go easily. I mean, without changing the Constitution, you still have unelected powers dominating the Thai politics. Yeah. So don't worry about this. We still stand very firm on this.
For the Constitution amendment, the Constitution of 2017, in a sentence, is a stiff vehicle in an agile environment. I mean, in their own words, it has been designed to ensure that the generals remain in power. And as a result, if you listen to the no confidence debate that I was in, I was talking about how political parties are made to be fragmented, the Senate appointed by the junta, and the overwhelming majority of the Prime Minister voting. Independent organizations are empowered over elected bodies. If it's not amended, we cannot unlock many things that bind Thailand into this gridlock. The Senate, the independent organizations, the law of military and politics, the 20-year national strategy, and that's what I meant by stiff vehicle in an agile environment. Take economics, the economy, for example. You have you don't have the leader when it comes to economic policies. Deputy Prime Minister Somkit announced to be exact November 17th and December 3rd. that he's no longer in charge of the economy of Thailand. And you have 3 fragmented parties taking care of all the ministries, transportation, you have industry, you have agriculture, all coming out from fragmented party because of this constitution. Because of the source of power comes from a fragmented constitution, and that's why the fragmented management. It's very clear that it needs to be amended. And yeah, people say it's almost impossible. You need 1/3 of the Senate vote, right? 86 out of, was it 1/3? 84 out of 250. But if the people is hungry enough for change, for an amendment, and if they talk to their MPs and they reach out to the senators that, you know, this gridlock needs to stop this year, or otherwise there'll be no more Thailand. This kind of appeal to the people who has the power, the appointed versus the elected. These are the things that can make it possible. They can make the impossible possible.
I think in addition, if I would have framed the question correctly, is that what would be your involvement? But I think Kun Thanathorn has already answered that this is still the agenda, because it seems like there are separate movements who are campaigning on amend the constitution. But anyway, as long as it's already in your agenda, so as long as it happens, you know, whatever.
Let me give you another fact. Piyabut is still in the constitutional amendment. How you got that committee? So he's still there, and we're still pushing for this. You will see this constitutional amendment coming out and organizing public hearings regarding to the change of the constitution. So you will hear this Piyabut. I'm sure he will be working very hard in this committee.
Thank you very much. I hope you'll forgive me if I say I'll take 2 more questions. I think we're running out of time after that. Next question, please.
Sorry. My name is Nongapat Pacham from PPTV Thailand. I have 2 questions. First one for Kun Pitha. There were some news from Election Commission that the new party will use the name Kao Klai. It is correct, and if it is, what is the meaning of it? And will Kun Pitha be a leader of the new party? And the second one, I would like to ask Kun Thanathorn, since you are banned for executive politics for 10 years, but as you announced Future Forward movement and you said that you will focus on local politics, how can you be sure that you won't play a part in executive politics in 10 years?
For the first question, can I surprise you on the 8th? That's just a couple of days away. So we'll be making the announcement. I hope you're there.
I hope you won't be leaving us as baffled as Korn Chatty Cabinet did about how to translate the name of the party.
that will help you on the 8th too. As for my personal role of this party that we will, all the 55 MPs will move to, it's not just about me. It's a political party. It's an institution, and there's processes involved to select who the leader is, who the secretary general is, who the registrar is. So I have no comment on that one.
They disqualified me from running political offices. I cannot be an MP candidate. I cannot be a local administration candidate, but I still am a Thai citizen. I still have my right to talk. I still have my right to free speech. So I will support candidates who share similar goals, similar ideas, and similar ideals. So I still can support them, but I cannot run. So definitely I'm not gonna run for, say, the governor of Bangkok. I can't. They disqualify me for that. But I can still talk about who of the Bangkok governor candidates I support. I could still do that.
So can we have the last question, please, Frank?
Frank Fu from Guangming Daily, China. My question is to Kun Thanathorn. Just now, you talked about the Mekong River issue. I had thought that I was listening to the speech of Secretary Pompeo. Just a joke, okay? Now comes to my question. And you said that Thailand does not dare to stand up and say no to China in the Mekong issue. Before you make this statement, have you reached out to your Ministry of Foreign Affairs, or have you reached out to the Chinese embassy, or have you checked in the internet? Based on my very limited information, last year there are complaints from Thailand that Thailand does not want China to dredge the river, and Thailand raised the issue, and then China accepted that and already gave up. And very recently, just early February, just during the Spring Festival time, and there's a drought in Thailand, and Thailand complained to China, and then China increased the volume of the water even during the Spring Festival. Thank you.
Have you seen the level of water going through Chiang Rai? Chiang Rai is the first point of Mekong River flowing into Thailand. If you look back, Don went to China, the Minister of Foreign Affairs. He went to China to talk about this, to ask China to open up the dams to let the water flow more into the downstream Mekong River. And if you look at the level of the water flowing through Chiang Rai, you see no change, basically. No change in the water, in the level of water rising through Chiang Rai. Chiang Rai is the first point of contact. So no, I don't see tangible outcome of the Thai government effort. Don flew there. It's in the news. Everyone knows that. But if you look at the actual stats in Chiang Rai, where the water, Mekong River first contact Thailand, no, there's no change in the water level.
The relationship with China is going to be important for every country in this region, and it's a difficult relationship because it's a very big and powerful country, and countries that have dealt with the United States will recognize the problem. I mean, do you have perspectives on that? Because there are always dilemmas for governments.
Let me put it this way: we should welcome the rise of China. You know, they are too big. We cannot say no to them. We should welcome the rise of China, and we should, together with China, pushing them to be a responsible global player. I think that's very important. You cannot deny China, a country with 1.4 billion people. You cannot. And you can't stop China from rising. So what we should do together is to make the country more open, more transparent. We should do together is to make them to play a more responsible role, not to prevent them from engaging to the world. I think that's not what we want. What I'm trying to criticize is not China, but our foreign policy toward China. You understand? You understand the differences? I'm not trying to criticize the Chinese government. What I'm trying to criticize when I talk about the Mekong River is that Thailand foreign policy in this matter is very important to the lives of 100 millions of people, and we could do more. We could put more effort into this issue, and we should, we are in the best position to gather the collaboration among ASEAN nations in this matter. That, if I'm in the government, would do. ขอบคุณครับ
Thanks very much indeed. I'm going to wrap it up there and give a very warm round of applause to our two-star politicians.